What's next for Caitlin Clark and the Fever after elimination from the WNBA playoffs? Uncasville, Conn. The Indiana Fever started their season coming up short against the Connecticut Sun. In the aftermath of that May opening night defeat, they acknowledged their young roster, even if led by a Phenom at point guard and the reigning Rookie of the Year, had some learning to do when it came to winning in the WNBA. Caitlin Clark had to figure out how to run a new offensive system after 4 years playing a specific style at Iowa. Everyone else had to learn how to play off of her. Aliyah Boston would have to make decisions out of the short roll. Kelsey Mitchell would have the ball in her hands less. All of the Fever players would have to run a lot. After a 2-9 start, Indiana made quick progress on those fronts. The Fever won 7 more games than last season, breaking a 7-year playoff drought. They finished in the top half of league standings and were a trendy pick to upset Connecticut in the first round, or at least take a game from the Sun. Instead, Indiana again exited Connecticut acutely aware of the gap between itself and the top tier of the league after being swept in 2 games. 4 months after her welcome to the WNBA moment, Clark and her teammates got another lesson in postseason execution, one that they'll have to sit with during the offseason as they continue their franchise rebuild. Looking at how far we've come from the start of the season to now, I'm just super proud of our group because I think it's such a special 12, and I just can't wait to see what the future holds, Boston said after being eliminated. When you're looking at a rebuild year, everyone wants to obviously jump to the championships and bring home the ring and everything. But I think when you look at basketball as a whole, and when you look at where you start to where you are now, it's about stepping stones. In a sense, the easy part of the Fever's rebuild is over. They have accumulated their star talent. What comes next? When Lynn Dunn returned to Indiana as the interim general manager in 2022, she set a 3-year timeline for the Fever to return to the postseason. Coach Christy Sides thought it would take an additional season when she signed on in 2023, but drafting Boston and Clark kept Dunn's plan in motion. The Fever got to the playoffs in her 3rd season at the helm, and now they move on to the next phase. According to Dunn, that means playing for championships. The 2024 season proved that Clark and Boston can be foundational pieces on a title team, but their internal improvement will be key for Indiana's progress. Clark got stronger as the year wore on, making her a more effective shooter and driver. She was still too reliant on her 3-point shot against better defenses. Of her 40 shot attempts against Connecticut, 25 came from beyond the arc, despite her limited success, 20% from distance, mirroring similar struggles in a 2-game set against Las Vegas when she went 3 of 18 earlier this month. Clark needs to diversify her shot diet to maintain her efficiency when the level of competition increases.